Hey, this is Rick Kasalich, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, what I wanted to go through are 5 stretches to ease disc pain. Now I'll get Jenna to go through the first one, then we'll break it down, and then we'll go through the other 4. Good, so the first one is standing back arches, and how this one breaks down, you're standing nice and upright, head, shoulders, hips, legs in a straight line. You're going to take the hands and put them in your hip area, then you're going to bring your hips forward and arch back, really trying to focus on arching through that low back area, have it coming to a good stop, and then back to the start, and then moving into the next repetition. So when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 5, time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. The intensity is light, and the purpose of this is to work on easing your disc pain, but specifically what we're working on is improving the mobility and movement in that low back or lumbar spine. Okay, now moving on to the next exercise. This one we're moving into the chair, and this is something that you can easily do at work. And same with the exercise before, this is something that you can easily do at work. And with this exercise, it's chair arch. Okay, good. And how this one breaks down, you're sitting nice and upright, head, shoulders, hips in a straight line. You're going to bring your hands to the side, and then you're focusing more on arching through that mid-back area. So bringing the shoulders back and arching through that mid-back area, holding for a couple seconds, and then returning back to that starting position, and then moving into the next repetition. So when it relates to sets, reps, time, and intensity, for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 5, time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. You know, good stop would be about 2 seconds. Intensity is light, and the purpose for this one is to work on improving the mobility in that thoracic spine. Now, why we want to work on that mid-back thoracic spine, a lot of times people will have poor movement in that mid-back area, and that poor movement leads to greater stress on that low back pain, making your disc pain worse. Okay, moving on to the third exercise. This is called chair hip stretch. Good. So how this one's breaking down, you're sitting nice and upright in the chair, head, shoulders, hips in straight line. Then you're going to cross one leg over the other. Then you're going to bend through the hips in order to intensify the stretch. So what you might be fine just in this position, you know, nice and upright. If you want to intensify, you can push that knee out. But if you're not feeling very much of a stretch in your hip, you can move your upper body forward, and that'll intensify the stretch. Now, looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, so alternating back and forth. Time would be 10 seconds, so we're holding that end position for 10 seconds. Intensity is light, and the purpose of this one is to really stretch out those deep rotators of the hip. And once again, targeting these areas is because a lot of times with people, the hips will be tight, and that hip tightness leads to greater stress on the low back and irritates disc pain. So we want to loosen up the hips in order to ease that back pain or disc pain. Okay, so now moving on to the fourth stretch. This is a chair knee to shoulder stretch. Okay, good. So how this one's breaking down, you're sitting nice and upright, head, shoulders, hips in a straight line. Then you're going to bring one knee up and towards the opposite shoulder. And you're looking for a stretch deep into the hip. And you'll feel it right up against that hip joint. And then so you'd go from one side, and then you'd go through on the other side. And it's perfectly normal to feel that the stretches are different on either side. Oftentimes one side is tighter than the other. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, you know, sets are 1, repetitions are 2, so you're alternating back and forth. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. That end position you're holding for a good 10 seconds. And the purpose of this is to stretch out one of the muscles that's deep in the hip. Okay, now moving on to the last one. So this one's standing heel in and out. Okay, so Jenna's got good balance. So not everyone has good balance. So you can utilize the chair or you can utilize the wall in order to eliminate balance so we can focus on the exercise. So you're standing on one leg, you're going to bring the knee up to about hip height, and yes, then you're going to bring the heel in, and you're going to bring the heel out, and alternating back and forth, heel in and heel out. So you'd go through 5 repetitions, alternating back and forth, so a total of 10 movements on one side, then you go through the same thing on the other side. Bring the heel out, good. Bring that knee up to 90, really trying to rotate through that knee, focusing on bringing that heel in and out, and looking for a light, dynamic stretch in that hip that you're moving the heel in and out of. Now, when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 5, so each direction, so a total of 10. Time, smooth controlled movement with a quick stop at the end position. Intensity is light, and the purpose of this one is to dynamically stretch the internal external rotators of the hip. So there you go. Give those 5 exercises a go. There's specifically different types of stretches that will help ease your disc pain. Now, if you're suffering from back pain or back tightness, what I recommend you do is click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tips and Tricks that'll fight back pain and tightness. Just click right here. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. If you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, or smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will be exercisesforinjuries.com/backs. Let me know where to send you that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comment section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.